welcome to another lively episode. I am Aram Monasul. Welcome to the Black Tower. Now, uh, after much consideration, thinking about it, I got a book I'm working on called Book of the Black Earth, Sarita Samuki. And in it, it refers to all the different workings of the Necronomicons, everything from Simon's Necronomicon to Al-Azif that is found online to John Dee's Necronomicon. Between working on this system, all these different systems, all these different methods, and on so forth and so on, I have about a 15, 16-year background on nothing but high magic. I then took, from reading all these different things from Simon's Necronomicon to Al-Azif, the cipher, manuscript note of John Dee's, so forth and so on. Some of the earlier workings of the Order of the Nine Angles, which I was always a big fan of. I was introduced to them in '97 via email, and so I was real lucky to get a little bit of a leg up from a group that worked some of the lesser known workings. Good luck finding online. However, that being said, and my ego completely banished and abolished into the realm of shells and shadow. I'd like to start this off with, I'm going to show you a rather crude, horrible copy of the key that I drew just for this. It's just a loop and a three-arm cross. You will notice that the two upper arms are together and the lower arm is a bit further apart. This was done on purpose. The reason for this is because the measurements. It's a numerical thing, which anybody who knows anything about numerology or Kabbalah or any of that knows that numbers are everything. It's supposed to be 7 inches tall, 3 inches wide. 2 inches make up the loop. There's an inch between the loop and the first arm. There's an inch between the first arm and the second arm. 2 inches between the second and third arm, and 1 inch below. That makes it 7. 3 inches wide. Keep to the symbol. I don't, do whatever you want to with it. Do it to whatever color scheme that you have. Just the key must remain the key. It must remain in the order that it's in for this to work. Now, the key itself is based on the Tree of Life. Okay? You will notice that each of the three arms literally touches to each of the three spheres on the sides. And then the dead center is this middle path. It goes all the way down. So it goes from Malkut, the kingdom, up to Kether, the crown. Now, above the shoulders, around the head area and above, in Kabbalism, the three upper spheres are known as the Supernal Trinity. Now, the Supernal Trinity, I won't go into it too deep, but I will give you a little bit of a theory on this one, okay? So, Kether, the crown, that's the divine light, that's the source of knowledge, that's the thought essence. Now, down you come, you have Bina to one side and Shakma to the other. That's the Great Mother and the Great Father. That's, of witchcraft and paganism and what have you. That's the masculine and the feminine. And they are columns straight down on each side, so they are the twin pillars. And the middle pillar, of course, is from Kether to the crown, thought process, all the way down to Malkut, the kingdom, which is equivalent to Sed of the Egyptians. However, so I decided to write this down, right? It's called the synopsis of the key. This gives you a little bit more of an idea of how this actually works. So the key is the key, and herein follows the reason. According to the Kabbalah, the Tree of Life is a drawing or symbol used to describe the many forces or powers that make up the macrocosm. It is the divine body, the body of Adam Kadmon. Now, when man visualizes each sphere at different areas overlying his or her own human form, he is made aware of his astral double, or divine body, sometimes referred to as the divine vehicle. Now, according to Kabbalists, the lower 7 spheres make up the actual body, while above him hovers a trinity in the shape of a pyramid. Now, when drawn down and placed upon his head, he becomes crowned by eternity. It is enough to know that what we will be doing is embodying the lower seven sephirah. These are the central column of the key and the three arms. Now, when these arms touch upon each of the spheres that make up the twin pillars, they always intersect back into the central column. This is done to center the forces. Sorry, I'm reading this off, so it's kind of horrible. At the top of the key is a circular loop. This is used to concentrate the energies of the upper sephiras, Kether, Shakma, and Bina. Okay, this is my bit of sorcery at play. 15 years of reading all this crap, memorizing all this stuff, and putting it into practical use. I figured it out one day that, between my own intelligence and working with a being by the name of Al-Sharif on the plains of the Agigi, I was given this key, and when the key, it was showing that it was key to all of creation, and I didn't believe it. However, I've been applying it for going on 16 years now, and it touches on to everything. So it has been known to me as the key, however you wish to look at it. No ego intended at all. It just is what it is. It works perfectly. Okay? So anyway, okay. And as a circle, they are combined and made one. Okay, now what this means is that, in the key, instead of it dividing up and creating an extra set of arms and blah, 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 what it did was it took the powers that are above mankind that are seriously, honestly, divine or beyond us, and it drew it down. And in the loop, it combines, because a circle binds things to a center. It draws it in, it combines it, it makes it whole. That way, according to the key, it can go down, sideways. That means it can break past the barriers. Okay? And when I say barriers, I'm talking any kind of barrier you could imagine. Okay. Another detail is that the whole of the symbol, herein referred to as the key, is joining all the forces into a usable construct. Sorry, I'm turning pages here. The key further represents the three rays, both latitudinal and longitudinal, creating 9 spaces or areas. This is similar to what is referred to as the Kabbalah of 9 chambers. Now then comes the 4 worlds, Atziluth, Braya, Yetzirah, and Asaya. They are the 4 realms, and above these, and what would be above Kether, the great sphere, is the upper body, the Trinity, known as the crown. Are the 3 rings of Ain, Ein Sof, and Ein Sofer. The key acts as an amalgam of all the forces and then used as a vehicle of sorts or greater form by which to pass these 3 rings in a said manner. I only give this explanation to ground you on a concrete basis. This is not the theory of a madman or a hack occultist, but a knowledgeable occultist. And I put this shit to use. I have worked this thing inside and out. I've tested it. And remember the old rule of thumb. If it doesn't work, toss it. If you can't figure out how to work it, you need to either study it or it's actually not useful for you. However, anyway, then going on here. I have explained my works in a Kabbalistic manner, but only so much as necessary to explain the key. Being thus armored, is he likened unto the goddess. The works I give within the Book of the Black Earth are not Kabbalistic in the ways of Kabbalah, but is instead a collection of the methods I employ to work magic. The base having been constructed well through the occult arts, we are now ready to venture far beyond the stars, where the old ones dwell, and time is not, where madness is possible, but the darkness of true knowledge and wisdom await. Now that I'm done reading off of out of a notebook from which I've wrote down all this stuff as I work on my book, I wanted to take the time to explain this. You can work any kind of magic under the sun. It doesn't matter what kind. Even if you're not familiar with it, you can work it. You just have to teach yourself it. You have to learn it. You have to study it. You have to ask people who know things that you don't know. Now, there's a lot of people, they don't want to take time to do it. Nah, that's fine. Go on, man. You don't need to anyway. The true seekers, though, they'll always be the first in line. They're like, holy crap, I can see where that could be useful, and they'll put it to use, which is kind of what I'm hoping with the key, because see, I guess kind of like Aleister Crowley, 1911, 1913, somewhere around there, when he was out in Cairo in Egypt, and he transmitted the Book of the Law by a praetor of human intelligence by the name Iwas, his holy guardian angel. He said it best, the law is for all. Well, I don't equate myself to Aleister Crowley yet. Hell, I do good to understand most of the time what he's talking about. I mean, I get the general gist of it, but I'm no expert in Crowley. Never claimed that. Serious student, absolutely. Love Crowley? Oh, hell yeah. Love Crowley. But I can only take what I can understand out of a thing, and I can only make it work for me. Now, I will be doing these videos in a series, like I said in my last video, called Mad Hattery. The reason I'm doing this is because, I will be putting this out there. I will be actually presenting the rites, so forth and so on, the ritual workings, the seal sigils, stuff like that. Now, a lot of it is copyrighted. A lot of it is, from this author, this author, this author, this source, that source, what have you. But the beautiful thing about it is that even if you were to look at it, you might, from your point of view, understand it to be one way. You might look at it and go, oh, it's all trash, or oh, this person's trash. Okay, this is where you have to have a solid knowledge of occult symbolisms. Okay, you have to understand how to read between the lines. You have to learn how to create the words that aren't written. And in so doing, I've attempted the best to my ability to actually do this. I'm not trying to put this out there to push others into believing my beliefs, because I don't care whether you do or you don't. It's something for the curious seeker, the one who has sat back and gone, well, I've done a lot of shit. Hey, look, there's something really neat and interesting. Wonder, well, that's kind of what I'm trying to provide. I'm trying to provide something that would, actually help you to understand how these forces work, how they're at play, and how you can work with them, even though everybody tells you they're fake and that they can't be done. The important thing, though, is that, retain an open mind. I'm not saying believe everything that's told to you. Don't believe everything you read. I don't believe in that. But at least maintain an open mind so that you can, be able to take in the information, be able to practice with it, or, tweak it, work with it, see if it works for you or not, because, in the many years that I've been practicing magic of all sorts, everything from left-hand path to, oh my goodness, high magic, low magic, druidism, shamanism, Jesus. I can't even go into all of it, and I wouldn't even attempt it. I think it's funny that I invoked the name of Jesus, and personally, I just think dude was one hell of a learned man. That was it. You want him to be your savior, go for it, knock yourself out. Ain't mine. I'm the only savior I've ever known. The day I was born, it just was the way it was. But anyway, we're getting past all the preaching and crap because I really don't care for all that. An interesting concept that came to me early on is that in the role of Simon's Necronomicon, you have the 7 planetary deities, Nana, Inanna, Nebo, Marduk, so forth and so on. The funny thing was that that you had these 7, and I refer to them as the Anunnaki. The 7 starry ones, the bright ones. They're in some parts of text or whatever it says, the Anunnaki are 7 are they are the liars in wait, and so forth and so on. Well, I kind of think that that's kind of what planetary spirits of this nature do, lie in wait, right? Because, they wait till their time, till they're high in the sky. But the concept that we're going to be working with concerning with Simon's Necronomicon is the fact that the Anunnaki are the seven planetary gates that you're originally walking the gates with. They're supposed to be paired with the 7 Afkalu. Now, the the Afkalu are rarely mentioned, but when you do search them out, when you do find them, they are said to be garbed in fish-like scales. Sometimes you'll find a picture posted online where it's a old Akkadian priest wearing a fish head or a cloak of fish scales. Well, that's normal. That was symbolic of the Afkalu or the priest of the Afkalu, and the Afkalu were guiding them. Anyway, so what you want to do is you want to work hand in hand with the Afkalu. So what you do is you would take the initial uh, uh, preliminary purification, right, where it says Ishtar, bright one of the was Ishtar, bright one of the heavens. Off the top of my head, I don't really remember where it is in the Simon Necronomicon. But anyway, you want to do that particular blessing at each one of the chakras while visualizing the key. Right, one of the heavens, wise Ishtar, mistress of the heavens, whose yes is truly yes. Proud one among the gods, whose command is supreme, mistress of heaven and earth, who rules in all places. Ishtar, at your name, I, son of, have bowed down before you. May my body be purified like lapis lazuli. May my face shine bright like alabaster, like shining silver and reddish gold. May I not be dull. Visualize the key in a sphere. Corresponding color. Use any correspondence you need. If you're looking in a high magic, color, chakra correspondence, low magic, it doesn't matter what you do. Just find one that resonates with you, that, connects them. But it's important that you do this at each of the 7. The reason why is because you've got to purify and cleanse the gates. You have to. Okay? So purification is the very first one. The second thing is remember the adage that, think of the old Bible story where it talks about the man whose house was cleaned out and he left, and when he came back 7 times, 7 evil spirits had filled the place. Okay? Think of it this way. Okay? When you cleanse and you purify it, you have to consecrate it, which means you have to fill it with power. That's where the 7 Afkalu come in. Okay? But now, whereas in the preliminary purification where you're working your way down, now you have to work your way up, as if from the underworld. So before you pulled the sky down, now you're pulling the earth up. Okay? Now the sky is symbolic of the deep, darkest places inside you. The earth is the high places above you. It's really hard to explain. It's like a parallel universe. It's a freaking mirror world. But anyway, the very first one at the root chakra is Uana. And now you want to vibrate this name 5 times because there's 5 letters in it. The next one, Inme Beluga, 11 times. And then you go up to your solar plexus, Inme Duga, 9 times. Up to your heart chakra, Inme Galama, 11 times. Anenlilda at the throat, 9 times. Uana Duga, 10 times at the third eye. Utu Abzu, 7 times. Okay? Now this cleanses, purifies it, and then it pulls it back up. Okay? So that you've cleansed it, prepared it, purified, and filled it. Okay? Each time, remember, visualize the key at each one of those. Now then, when you've done this, there are certain things you can do, like give the Rite of the Magus. Rite of the Magus is where you take the key at each of the 4 quarters, above you and below you. It makes a diamond, okay? And the reason why you would do this is because it's a 3-stage. Holy crap, look at that. The key has 3 arms. Holy shit, right? This is all going to come back around for you. But anyway, the concept behind this was that, you cleanse, purify, consecrate, fill. Then you set the diamond about you. And what this does is create a vehicle by which you will be traveling to the planes and gates. Okay? Now, what this actually does is create one hell of a thick shell about you. It creates a vehicle neither of light nor dark. So we're not talking about Lux or Nox energies like in high magic. Okay? We're talking about a whole nother kind of energy. We're talking about An-Ki. An being sky or heaven, and Ki being earth or the great below. An-Ki, we're going to make it one. Okay? Now, when we do this, what we have is a very powerful tool. Now, what that's going to allow us to do is to safely, and when I say safe, I'm not talking about, some demon's going to jump out and get me. I ain't talking about no fucking demons. That ain't what I'm fucking talking about. I'm talking about the kind of psychic crap, like if you haven't fully worked through your demons yet, you really don't want that shit coming out in the middle of the working. And, there's a lot of things you don't want to fucking happen. Okay, hopefully, if you're watching this, or if you perchance even have a copy that I've sent you of my book, hopefully you've worked through all the shit you're supposed to have worked through, because I'm not a teacher. I'm just going to provide something, and if it works for you, great. Okay? But anyway, this is the daily key working. Okay? This is done after you've done the Bright One of the Heavens, Wise Ishtar, went through all your gates. When you filled them up with the 7 off Kalu. Okay? So here it goes. So you stand there facing north with a drawing, or if you've got it, a designed key. I don't care if you just drew it and you set it center place of your altar. And stand there and you say, by the names of the ancients, by the power of my immortal soul, is the universe made in my image. Gods, hear me. Spirits, conjure it. Powers, hear me. O thou mother, hear me. O thou father, hear me. Thy son is born, or thy daughter, if you're female. 'Tis the blood of an anointed, 'tis the blood of an ancient one. 'Tis the breath of a sacred one. The earth and sky is one. Now, when you say the earth and sky is one, make the loop and the center column down. So it was is the first arm. So it is, second arm. Third arm. So will it be. Raise your arms and like a salute to the sky. So may it be forever unto eternity. Breathe in. Visualize the key fully formed in your body. Hold it. Release. Feel the key just move in all directions. Now you've charged and fully consecrated everything using the symbol of the key. Now here's the important part. That key is so many things you would have no idea. It's not just a vehicle, it's a power. It's not just a power, it's a key to open doors. Not just is it a key to open doors, but it's also a powerful shield. Okay? Well, that's it for this one. Good luck. Leave your comments below. Thank you, guys.